Big year for Harley-Davidson in 2026. They've completely redesigned the three-wheelers. Look, the first trikes came out in 2009 at Harley-Davidson. So it's been 17 years without any major changes to these machines. And this year, it's happening. 3 goals: stability, comfort, and overall performance. I think they hit the mark. I rode it in Daytona. Everyone knows I'm really not a fan of Harley-Davidson trikes. Stability specifically has always been an issue for me. We got the chance to try a 2025 and a 2026 back-to-back on a closed circuit course. We could weave between cones to check the handling, comparing the two. And the most interesting part, as far as I'm concerned, is that they'd set up a whole bunch of speed bumps, so we could ride both machines through them. I can tell you that on the 2025, it got pretty rough at moderate speed, something I didn't experience with the 2026. Way more stable. They also put speed bumps on curves, both left and right, to see if it really was stable or not. The version behind me is the Road Glide. That's the one I rode. Like I said, I did the same run on the 2025. When we talk about stability, that's what it comes down to. They completely changed the suspension this year, which means you no longer feel what used to happen before. Every time you hit a bump or rode over rough pavement, you'd feel the rear end kick up, it would wallow, you'd get the feeling you were about to lose the front end. But with the 2026, you just don't get that. They're not independent suspensions, but the way they've engineered it, they changed the angle of the shocks, and a lot of parts were added to make sure the stability, and especially the handling, are there. You really feel it in the handlebars, because that's what you used to feel on the older models. It was pretty rough. The bars would wander, they'd knock around. We just don't get that anymore on the 2026s. Also on the power side, it's great because we've got the 117S, the Milwaukee 8 117, so 105 horsepower. And these engines also have VVT, which is nice. Linear power delivery. No matter what gear you're in, you've always got power at the throttle. And that's fun. We had a blast. Put it in sport mode, and it really goes. Speaking of modes, the electronics package is complete too. These are the limited versions, similar to the bikes we tested. So it's full-featured. 4 ride modes: Sport, Road, Rain, Custom, so you can adjust however you like. All the electronics, the whole safety system is there depending on the mode you select. No problem. Everything adjusts. ABS, cornering ABS, straight line ABS, traction control, anti-this, anti-that. You've got it all on this machine. Same goes for the infotainment, the sound system. It's complete. Heated seat, etc. There's also that big screen where you can choose the display you want. There's tons of information. That said, you do have to be careful. These big screens are great, but they can be distracting. It's a touch screen, so you can play around with it however you like. But I'd recommend doing that while stopped. Otherwise, when you're riding, you've got the good old buttons and switches on the grips. Very intuitive, easy to manage. Take the time to really learn where your controls are, which buttons do what, so that when you're riding, you can do what you need to do and keep your eyes on the road the whole time, which is very important. I also mentioned comfort. The suspension makes all the difference. And as standard equipment on these models, there's still that handy grip on the side for adjusting the suspension if you go from riding solo to 2-up. You can adjust it easily, right there. I also tried it as a passenger on both the 2025 and 2026. On the 2025, my experience as a passenger, especially on the closed course with the speed bumps, was really unpleasant. When I think about someone sitting back there and what they'd go through on genuinely rough roads, I just can't imagine it. On the 2026, way better. The difference really shows. It really shows. They did a great job on that. The other really interesting thing is the reverse gear. They've got a new reverse this year that's fully integrated. It's not a separate motor with a little button on the side anymore. So you hold the clutch lever, select first gear, push the button on the grip, and there you go. You can back up. You do have to control it a bit with the rear brake, because I'd say it's pretty powerful as reverse gears go. It does the job well, and you come to appreciate it once you're used to it. It works nicely. I'd also mention the choice of colors this year. There are some beautiful colors. Take the one behind me, for instance, a kind of burnt orange. It's really nice. There are other options too. Still 5 distinguishing features on the Road Glide. Same as always. The sharp nose up front. As you know, I prefer the fixed fairing over the Street Glides. Same thing. Easy to tell the Street Glide trike apart. And there are CVO versions too. Obviously more loaded with the 1.2.1 engine, still with VVT. So, it comes well equipped. Would I buy one tomorrow morning? No. I'm not there yet. That's for sure. That said, for people who like trikes, it's a really nice option. This year the work has been done. It's genuinely interesting. Same goes if you already own a trike, like this one. It's worth going to try it out. Because I'm telling you, you'll notice a big difference. If you already like your current machine, imagine this one. You'll find something really worthwhile. If you want to ride 2-up and rack up a lot, and I mean a lot, of kilometers, this is definitely the machine for you. I think pricing starts at around $40,000. Obviously, the bigger models push the price up from there, but otherwise, it is a real success. I have to admit I liked it. I'm actually going to ask Harley to get one for me this summer here in Quebec, because the real test happens right here at home. Yes, we rode some pretty rough roads down there, but I want to put it through at least 2 weeks on our roads. And if it passes the test here, it'll be because that suspension really works.